It involves a corpse bride, ancient rituals, and punishing your enemies. A new book is examining the heavy expectations Chinese women face in both society and culture and the toll it takes on their lives. It's a horror titled Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies and was written by award-winning and Winnipeg-based author Lindsay Wong. Author Lindsay Wong is joining us now. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, the title is very unusual, Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies. Tell us a little bit about what inspired this title itself.
So villain hitting is based on this old Chinese voodoo where you can actually curse your enemies. You pay an old auntie, $50 Hong Kong, and you say, curse my ex, curse my boss. And so that's what inspired the book. And then Vicious Little Nobodies refers to people who kind of feel like they're nobodies. They have no choice in life. So usually women, marginalized women, and that relates to the book itself in corpse marriage, right? Which is arranged after marriage, which I think we're going to talk about next.
This was actually what you grew up with. You heard these stories about if you didn't marry someone, you could be buried with a stranger.
Absolutely. It's a warning to women that get married or you'll end up married to a stranger in a box, right? And it's happening in China. People are being trafficked, especially marginalized women, and they wake up or they don't wake up at all.
What?
Yeah, it's terrifying. And the protagonist, Lucinda Lowe, she ends up selling her corpse to save her grandmother and sister. I mean, it doesn't happen in Canada, I hope not, at least corpse marriage, but it does happen in rural areas in China.
Now, you actually traveled to China to do research for this book, including meeting an auntie who could put a curse on someone that you want to get back at, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I went to Hong Kong, and these aunties live under the bridge in Causeway Bay, and you just pay them, and they will hit the paper effigy of the person you hate with a shoe, right? And they'll curse them. They'll do whatever you want to them.
It sounds like it's a joke, but it's not. This is really happening. People pay for this service. And so it's scary to think that that's, you know, some of these supernatural legends that you grew up with. So you put it in a book. Why did you want to do that?
I think I just wanted to really make sense of choicelessness for women, intergenerational trauma, and just thinking about, you know, who has the power. It's usually the women under the bridge. They have nowhere to go. And so they're the ones, you know, being paid to curse people, right? And I'm thinking about, you know, as women, like what agency do we have, right? We're locked in a box, right? We're told, you know, you can't do anything but get married or end up in a coffin with someone. It's terrifying, isn't it?
It is terrifying, and this is a fictional book, but it's a horror.
It's horror, right? And it's based on Chinese superstition, Chinese mythology, and what happens when you have no choice, right? When you have poverty, intergenerational trauma, and so that's what my characters go through, Lucinda and her grandmother.
That is incredible. Okay, well, you've written a memoir in 2018. It was called The Woo Woo. It got lots of attention, lots of love. You also had a book of short stories that you released in 2023. It was called Tell Me Pleasant Things About Immortality. These are all based on things, legends and superstitions that you grew up with in your culture, right? And you're just continuing that in this new book.
I am. So I'm really inspired by, I guess, the supernatural. I was always told, you know, if you don't believe or do something horrible, it's going to be caused by demonic possession. And so the monsters and the demons are real in Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies.
You're launching Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies tomorrow at McNally Robinson at 7 o'clock. What do you want people to know?
It's going to be hosted by Jenny Hagen Wills. It's going to be fun. There will be no villain hitting. I mean, unless you want to, right? We'll curse your enemies for maybe $50 Canadian.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to dive right into this. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Congrats on the new book, Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies, written by Lindsay Wong. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you so much.